So, you're looking to call Orange County home. You already know it's one of the most amazing places to live in Southern California. And it's a big but, with so many incredible communities, how in the world do you pick the right one? It can feel like a huge challenge. Well, in this breakdown, we're going to dive deep into three of the most popular choices: Aliso Viejo, Irvine, and Laguna Niguel, to help you find your perfect fit. And yeah, feeling overwhelmed, that is completely normal. I mean, each city has its own unique vibe, its own price point, its own lifestyle. Aliso Viejo, Irvine, Laguna Niguel. Where do you even start? Don't worry, we're here to cut right through all that noise and give you some real clarity. So here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll get to know our three contender cities. Then we'll put them head to head and look at the actual data. After that, we'll help you figure out which one really lines up with your personal priorities. And finally, we'll introduce you to the expert who can put it all together for you. Let's be honest, Orange County's appeal is just undeniable. You've got the gorgeous weather, amazing things to do, so many different kinds of neighborhoods. But to make a really smart decision, you have to get specific. So we're zeroing in on three fantastic but very, very different cities that are always on home buyers' radar: Aliso Viejo, Irvine, and Laguna Niguel. And just so you know, we're not just guessing here. To get the real inside story, all of the insights we're sharing come straight from Orange County real estate expert Shweta Kajanchi. She's been focused exclusively on this market for nearly a decade, so she knows all the little details that make a huge difference. All right, let's get a quick feel for these three places. Think of this next part as a kind of personality snapshot for each community, and it's all based on the deep market knowledge of Shweta Kajanchi. So here's the rundown. Aliso Viejo, that's your balanced, community-focused choice with tons of parks and outdoor space. Then you have Irvine, which is this meticulously planned modern hub, famous for its newer homes and big corporate centers. And then there's Laguna Niguel, which has that classic Southern California coastal feel, a bit more relaxed with these beautiful hillside views. Okay, so the vibe is one thing, but the numbers, well, they tell a whole different story. So how do these three cities really stack up when you look at the price, the amenities, and the kinds of homes you can actually buy? Let's get into the data. Now, check this out. What's really interesting here is how clearly this lays out the financial side of things. See Aliso Viejo? It's the most accessible entry point, with prices usually under $1.3 million. But then, look at that jump. Laguna Niguel and Irvine are playing in a totally different league, price-wise. And here's the key thing to notice. This starting price in Irvine is often where the top of Aliso Viejo's market ends. That's a huge difference to wrap your head around right from the start. And this table perfectly shows the trade-offs you're making with that money. I mean, to put it simply, for what you'd pay for a standard, newer home in Irvine, you might find a larger property with amazing views in Laguna Niguel. Or you could get a top-of-the-line townhome in Aliso Viejo and still have money left over. See? It's not just about the cost. It's about what that cost gets you in each specific city. It's all right here. Okay, so we've looked at the data, but the real question is, what does it all mean for you? I mean, data is just a bunch of numbers until you connect it to your own life. So let's ask, what are you really looking for in a home and a community? Let's break it down real simple. If your number one priority is getting into Orange County at the most accessible price point, Shweta Kajanchi's analysis points you right to Aliso Viejo. If you're dreaming of a brand new house in a super structured, amenity-rich environment, then Irvine is probably your best bet. But if what you really want are those scenic views and a quick drive to the beach, then Laguna Niguel is calling your name. Of course, these are just the broad strokes, right? The real magic happens when you start navigating the little micro-markets inside each of these cities. And for that, well, you just can't beat the guidance of a local expert who lives and breathes this stuff every single day. And that brings us to our final and honestly most important point. It's one thing to have all this data, but it's a whole other thing to have a trusted advisor who can interpret it for your specific situation. And that's exactly where an expert like Shweta Kajanchi comes in. This quote really says everything you need to know. For Shweta, it's not about the deal. It's about building a real relationship that's based on unwavering trust. She's focused on just one thing: getting the absolute best outcome for you, always putting your interests first. And this isn't just a nice idea. It's backed by a serious track record. Since starting her practice back in 2015, Shweta consistently facilitates over $10 million in sales every single year. That's the kind of deep experience that gives you a real advantage in a market this competitive. So what's it actually like to work with her? Well, it means you get a comprehensive market analysis, not just guesswork. It means you have an expert negotiator fighting in your corner, and it means totally transparent, no pressure communication from someone who has spent almost 10 years focused only on the Orange County market. So, after seeing the data and getting a feel for these different lifestyles, are you ready to take that next step? To go from just browsing online to actually finding the community that feels like home. At the end of the day, the most important decision you're going to make is choosing the right partner to guide you through it all. If you're serious about navigating the complexities of Aliso Viejo, Irvine, or Laguna Niguel, your best first step is a simple conversation with an expert like Shweta Kajanchi. Her contact info is right there on the screen. Reach out and get started on finding your perfect home in Orange County.